like Mitchell, or you can be like Reynolds and Skiffle. Give it a Johnston and he'll get triple. Pass it to Cleary, you know he'll run the pitch. Score points like Jaboyevich. I'm game day fit, no need a switch. Cooking up like Cookie Man's in the kitchen. Who's that on the wing? It's Sivo. Score, try and do the Guffrino. Don't get too rowdy or too keen, or you'll end up like Hasentino. Get a 40-20 like BCE. Run the ball like hectic cheese. Support runner, that's Pappenhausen, but I still got Teddy at the SCG.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Final Siren podcast, or welcome back. If you're a recurring viewer, welcome back. If you haven't already, subscribe to our YouTube channel. Make sure to do that now. We love making content for all of you, and we appreciate every subscriber that comes our way. Now, boys, the Rugby League World Cup finished up early this morning, and the result is in, obviously, Australia winning the Rugby League World Cup final 30-10. We'll really have a bit of a discussion about it before we talk about probably the tournament as a whole. But what were your thoughts on the game, boys? Obviously, Australia beating Samoa 30-10, and it wasn't really a close game as many people expected. Either of you can start off.
Yeah, I'll go first. Well, first of all, shout out to Samoa. Obviously, they didn't get the result they wanted, but shout out to them, the first Pacific team to be in a final itself in a Rugby League World Cup event. So, look, they got smashed, but they played with a lot of passion and heart. And look, got to give respect to that. And their fans were passionate throughout the tournament. It was a great comeback. But this game, yeah, Australia were just too classy. At no point was Australia really threatening. But Samoa, to their credit, they keep playing well with passion and they try to score points and whatnot. But Australia's just too good in the end. So Australia winning the World Cup once again, no surprises there. They won it back in 2017. Now they've done it here in 2022. So, yeah, the Aussies, they just keep on that legacy.
Dave, what about you?
Yeah, I mean, first of all, I want to give some credit to Samoa. I mean, it was a big ask for them to even make the finals and then, even to win and beat England. You got to give them credit because it was a very tough way to get there. And, even though they lost, they got smashed, they still played. I thought they actually played pretty well. I mean, it didn't feel like a 30-10 scoreline, but, Australia did play really well. Charles Mitchell early on was really good, and obviously Tedesco was outstanding and well-deserved man of the match. So, it was as an Aussie supporter, I'm very happy.
Yeah, very true. Myself, like Dale said, as an Aussie supporter, very happy with that effort. By the way, before I actually give my thoughts on it, I just want to have a quick say of thank you to everyone who watched the Rugby League World Cup finals preview. The final preview. Davos and myself were the only people in that. As Faraz had something to do.
Lachlan sleeping.
Yeah, and sleeping early. And 30-minute video, and it managed to rack up 272 views in a matter of 1 day. So pound the backs for obviously ourselves, and also thank you to everyone who actually gave that a watch. We appreciate the support coming in. But honestly, for me, it was a pretty good game. I stayed up to watch this one, and then I fell asleep after 60 minutes. But Australia, just too good. Samoa looked like they were starting a bit of a run at the end of the game, but Australia were just too good. And obviously, I'm not sure if anyone saw. There was a bit of a recording going around of Josh Adokar after the game was done. For the final goal kick, Josh Adokar tried to drop kick it from the sideline. I'm not sure if either of you have seen it, but I'll try and get the imagery up.
What a seeker!
He's honestly he's a genuine character in our game, Josh Adokar, and really, I feel like a lot of the time I don't appreciate. You really can't. I used to hate him, but I really love him.
Even if it's annoying, you just can't hate him. He's just a good bloke.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
And he's one of the game. He's one of the faces of our game. That's why people want to watch him.
We need more characters and personalities like Josh Adokar in our game.
Sure, 100% lifts that energy up.
Yeah, so it was one of those things. It was really funny to watch. It actually got pointed out to me by Jai Bisher, who's in the chat currently. So
how did it go? So what did he do it
No, he ended up missing. I'll try and get the imagery up. But we'll talk about some other things. Then I'll try and get the imagery up once that's done. But no, he's a genuine character, and it's funny to see. I'll make sure to try and play that one after we talk about the next topic, Australia win the Rugby League World Cup for the 12th time in 16 Rugby League World Cup appearances. Boys, something has to be done about this. I love being an Aussie fan. Obviously, you can't really hate winning, but no, like 12 in the last 16. I think that just shows Australia is on a different level compared to some of the other countries. Obviously, England, I think, have also won it a couple times. New Zealand won it quite recently, but the past few times it's just been Australia, and New Zealand won it once, I believe. I think there was a stat put up by a random stats guy, which had, I think it was the last 12 times Australia's won 11 and New Zealand's won once, which is just, that's funny. But, what are your thoughts on the stat, boys? Anything to say about this?
As an Aussie fan, but as a neutral, yeah, those don't make really like good numbers. I mean, the fact that Australia have won it 12 out of 16 times, it just sort of shows that Australia's in a different world compared to the rest of the teams. Like, I honestly do feel that New Zealand, like teams like New Zealand, England are slowly narrowing that bridge down with Australia, but Australia's just on a different world right now. They're a different class. They've got a bunch of players to choose from the NRL. Like teams like Greece and all that, they had their game banned in their country. They have limited facilities. So look, as a neutral, I want Australia to be more competitive with more like competitive games, but it's not going to happen for a while, isn't it? Because Australia, they've just got all the players and facilities to choose from. So look, they're going to keep dominating for a while. It's hard. Like a lot of people doubted them this year, and they still found a way. They were clunky against New Zealand. They still found a way to win. So they've just got that winning mentality about them.
I agree. I'm actually going to publicly admit I was one of the people who actually doubted Australia this year. I didn't think we were going to make it to the Rugby League World Cup final. I had it being, I think, Samoa versus New Zealand, and like this was before obviously the World Cup draws got released, and obviously it would have to line up perfectly for that to happen. And then, but I think, and once I saw we were playing New Zealand, we were going to be playing New Zealand in the semi-final to make it to the Rugby League World Cup final. I was thinking chances are we could lose this. We end up scraping through very slightly.
We probably got lucky towards the end. Like they were
I
close
agree.
to scoring. Yeah.
Here's a question for you boys. If New Zealand make it to that Rugby League World Cup final, do you believe they win? Just like Aussies did, or do you think?
Well,
you never know what happens because like England blow them off the park. Because England and New Zealand are basically the same. Because let's say Australia just a class above the other teams. Let's get that started. But yeah, look, it's hard to answer because it never happened. We'll never know. But I guess New Zealand will probably win. Maybe a much more closer game. But yeah, you just never know. It's hard though because like New Zealand put up a really good fight against Australia. So there's no reason why they couldn't just back up the same thing next week. But Samoa, they just beat England and England. So yeah, they probably. Yeah, I don't know. It's hard to answer because it's never really happened, did it? No really point talking about it as well, I guess, because it just didn't happen. But yeah, maybe they'll probably be favourites.
What about you, Dave? What's your thoughts?
I honestly like Faraz said, we're never going to know what ever happened, and there's legit no point in speaking about it because it didn't happen. But I reckon if it did happen, I reckon it would have been very close because I think the one thing that cost Samoa was their spine. Like the only real star player in that spine would have been Jerome Luai. Suali, he's good, but he's not established yet.
Fullback, yeah, I agree.
New Zealand have an established spine. They've got Manu, they've got Hughes, they got who was number 6? Was it Foreign or was it
for who? New Zealand?
For New Zealand, yeah.
Was it Brown?
Was it Brown? Sorry, not Foreign. And then they've got a good hooker, whereas Samoa really have.
I think one of the things is as Luke Melbourne Storm fan says, when the Rugby League World Cup just started, I had an Australia versus England grand final. I was so close. I honestly, when I saw the final, when it came to finals time, I thought that was what was going to happen as well. But
in a way, I was happy it didn't because it would have just been the same thing as last time. So it was nice to see a change in that and Samoa being in the grand final. Whether it would have been close or not, I don't care. I'm just happy that Samoa made it.
Very true. And it's just one of those things. Speaking of Samoa, a cool stat for them. Samoa make history as being the first tier 2 nation to make a Rugby League World Cup final. Congratulations to Samoa. I didn't really mention the stat in the preview. I really should have, and my mistakes for that. But congratulations to them. I mean, they didn't get the result they wanted, but they definitely did all their fans and their country proud in making that Rugby League World Cup final. So I have actually finally got up imagery of what happened with Josh Adokar. If you haven't seen this already, folks, just sort of take a look at it. I might think it's a bit more funny than it actually was, but you guys can be the judge of this.
Celebrations have begun for the Aussies. They've done the double with the men's and the women's. What an historic moment for the game in a wonderful country. But for Samoa, they can be enormously proud of what they've been able to do in this historic World Cup in reaching a final.
I think another thing that just makes it a hilarious laugh is the fact that, did you see the length of which he missed that?
Yeah, I know.
And they counted it as an actual goal conversion. They counted it as a
What?
kick. They counted it as an attempt at goal.
Hey, look, I'm going to be honest. It's not necessarily that funny to me, but it's funny how he missed it by that mile, and no one really noticed as well.
It reminds me of Did either of you boys watch the Prime Minister's 13?
Yeah, the one where he kicked at the end, and he missed it by a mile. Yeah, I remember that.
His goal kicking technique of going like that is so weird, but
I know.
I'd love to see this
We've got a
for
comment
entertainment.
that says Samoa fans are getting too full of themselves, though. Would you boys agree?
I think they were.
Well, look, at the end of the day, look, when you win, you've got the right to like talk your shit and all that. You've got the right to have bragging rights, but yeah, look, sometimes fans just get too ahead of themselves. With Samoa fans, I just feel like with all the things that are happening, like they've just made a final in a Rugby League World Cup. Like they're a small nation, essentially. You know, they beat the likes of Tonga and all that to make it here as well. So that's impressive. But yeah, the fans, they are getting a bit too cocky and arrogant. Like if you go on some of the England like players' recent posts, like Herbie Farnwood, Dominic Young, like you will see all the Samoan fans just giving them shit unnecessarily, like spamming comments. And if you say something against Samoa, right, like they will just call you names and all that. They will go hard at you. So look, you can't really be like, for England fans, they really can't be salty about it. But like, you know, you can't really expect to be treated like that. EDC, like, yeah, you won, congratulations. Just don't ruin the mood, but just take the win and move on. No need to like push it extra.
Did you boys hear what happened? Apparently, Samoa are going to be moved to a tier 1 nation, and that apparently that if they get moved to a tier 1 nation, this is a bit off topic, but apparently if they get moved to the tier 1, that the players that play for, like for example, New South Wales, like To'o Luai, they could get banned from playing State of Origin because Samoa
they'd have to choose Samoa. They have to choose the country or their state. And I think
Can I ask you guys for fun? If you were in that position, who would you choose, Samoa or would you play for Blues?
Oh, that's hard.
I don't want to play. I don't want to play for either. No, but for me, if it was Australia or Queensland, probably Queensland.
Oh,
I'm not even gonna lie. Like a lot of people will say national team and all that. I'm not gonna lie. I'll probably go with Queensland.
Yeah, but I know like if you play for Australia, obviously you can play for your state. But it's like in saying that, like if Australia was a tier like if it was a nation that in which State of Origin didn't occur, and I was an avid State of Origin watcher and things like that, then obviously I'd probably end up choosing to represent Queensland, because I feel like the thing is you're more likely to be selected for Queensland than you are for your country, or you're more likely to be selected for state, because when you're selected for state, it's like there's two teams, but when you're selected for country, they take the best out of those two teams to put them into the one. So I'd probably go with my state to be represented by. But I mean, they may not do the same, because I feel like Luai is definitely a lock in for Samoa now, and To'o and Crichton doesn't matter if they. It doesn't matter that for Samoa it's easy. They'd be easier to make the Samoa team. So I'm not sure I think they'll all choose Samoa if that does happen. But I honestly don't see it happening. I think they'll remain a tier 2 nation just to keep the fans happy.
Imagine if Samoa won that match today against Australia. Like that would have been the biggest win of Luai's career.
Oh,
yeah.
Even bigger than his 2 grand finals. Yeah, you'd probably say. Yeah, you'd probably say so.
Luai got completely owned, though, to be completely fair. I mean, I don't really like. Obviously, it's not really player slander, but he's talked a big game all week and didn't really show up when it mattered. Got bundled into touch one of the times, and then didn't really make.
And it's also, to be fair though, it's also hard on him when his 7 is not even doing anything.
Milford.
Whose idea was it to have Milford at 7? I would have rather. It would have been better to put Milford at 6 and Luai 7. To be
I'd rather have bloody Ronald Volkman at bloody 7. But he can play for Samoa, Ronald Volkman, than Milford. But look, I do hope Milford plays well for the Dolphins.
But look, Australia's was just simply too good, and they were Luai's daddy.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
exactly. To be fair to Luai, though, he did have a reasonably good game.
Yeah,
122 run meters. 122 run
bad.
meters.
Yeah.
11 post-contact meters, which is not obviously he's not a forward, so he won't have very many post-contact. He had a tackle break. He did make 21 tackles and only missed 2, and managed to get 4 offloads. 4 offloads for number 6. That's
to be honest, he was probably one of Samoa's best, but he was probably one of Samoa's best, but Samoa they played well in patches, but they just couldn't play well for the whole 80.
In the end, they just played a team that had too much class and potential on that day. Like they couldn't have done more than what they could have. Simple as that.
I know we've got a question in the comments. It's not about the World Cup, but it says thoughts on the Tigers letting Hastings go.
I think we might have, we'll keep talking about Rugby League World Cup. We'll come to that at the end, though. Leave any questions you want in the comments. Just type that there. Leave any questions you want. It doesn't have to be Rugby League World Cup related. It can be FIFA World Cup related. It can be NRL related, Big Bash League related, WBBL related. Just leave them in the chat, and we'll get to them at the end. As if we've nearly wrapped up everything on the Rugby League World Cup side of things. Luai did have a pretty good match, but obviously we want to talk about the player of the match, James Tedesco. What a game this man had. He's an absolute freak. Easily the best fullback in the world. And, oh my goodness, how good was he? I'll quickly pull up a stat sheet because it is a good one. And like any player would be proud to have these stats, especially in a Rugby League World Cup final. 72 fantasy points, 2 tries, 234 run meters, 54 post-contact meters, 7 tackle breaks, 1 line break, 2 offloads, 4 tackles for 0 missed, and only 1 error from the Rugby League World Cup final. Holy cow. He is easily the best fullback in the game at the moment. What a player he is. Either of you boys want to comment on James Tedesco?
There's nothing really much to say. I don't know how else to word it. I'm just expecting this from Tedesco. I'm not surprised or too heavily impressed. It's just Tedesco for me every week. That's what you expect. That's the player he's grown into. Tigers fans would probably be scratching their heads. Just remember, this guy was a Tigers player once. Now he's not even there anymore. It could have been what could have been. But yeah, look, Tedesco, I'm going to make a statement here. I honestly think that he is the second greatest fullback for Australia as a fullback. I think he's just behind Billy Slater. You could argue maybe Darius Boyd and all that, but that gap is slowly closing, honestly. That's fair on you guys, but I feel he's just getting better and better each week. And he's winning the big games, he's owning the big moments.
Sorry. Me saying Nup there, I just want to quickly point this out before I get roasted in the chat. Me saying Nup was in response to Darius Boyd being up there. I love Darius Boyd, but Teddy's on another level. For me, Teddy is getting close to surpassing. He's getting close. If he gets a few more premierships, I reckon he's up there.
Yeah, a lot of people might be debating he might be up there with Slater. I think he's still just behind, but it's scary. He's still got a lot of time in his career left.
Well, yeah. See, the thing with Slater versus Tedesco, I feel like they're better at different things. I feel like Teddy is definitely, I think, better for run meters and just getting those hard yards, getting it out of your end.
I think Slater's really good defensively. I'm not saying Tedesco isn't, but Slater could handle the things at the back.
Well, also Slater was a great try scorer, a great kick chaser. Tedesco's a great kick chaser as well. But if you look at Slater's
Slater had playmaking in him as well.
Yeah.
Slater's the better defender, but Tedesco is still an outstanding defensive fullback though.
That's the thing that makes. I think that's one of the things that goes underrated about a fullback is their defense.
Honestly, if you guys are Tigers fans, just imagine like this guy was in your team 6 years ago.
Oh my goodness!
Like,
but can I just point out something, right?
Yeah.
This is not taking anything away from the Tedesco. He's the best fullback and probably the best player. In my opinion, he's the best player in the comp, right? But you never know. Like, the guy's a freak, right? But that Tigers system at developing plays is not very good. Because think about it. Tedesco's in a Roosters system which develops plays like that's like their strength. They develop players. Like, look at young Sam Walker. He's developing very well. Tedesco is a freak, bro. Like, the Roosters pretty much took a very good player and polished him.
And can I say something as well? Before he joined the Roosters, like when he was at the Tigers, you were like, well, yeah, good play, but you wouldn't think he would become like one of the greatest fullbacks in that game to what it was 6 years. He was like Nathan Cleary, like, yeah, good play and all that, but nah, not that good. Not a higher quality league. When he joined the Roosters, his game went on another level. It's scary. Like, he's got years ahead of him. Like, he doesn't get any slower. He keeps getting better and better. Honestly, like, that's why the Roosters are a force to be reckoned with every time he's there.
The fact that him versus Turbo was a debate actually just blows my mind. I always said Tedesco was the best fullback.
Teddy's got the premiership ranks and all that.
Yeah, I agree with you all there. I think Tedesco, he could be close to passing Slater though, and it pains me to say that as a Queensland fan because obviously I don't want him to. But you got to be honest here, and I think he's very close. Like I think there's some things he does better than Slater. I think there's some things he's getting close to doing better than Slater. But you also have to remember Teddy is already 29, I believe. He doesn't have that many. Like he may have like 4 or 5 years left in his career at like fullback maybe.
Slater retired, I think, like 30.
Yeah. Didn't Slater miss a few years or something due to injury, and he came back around 2017?
2018, I think he ended up retiring. Was it?
After
2018 was his last year.
Yeah. So Teddy's an absolute freak, though. Not taking anything away from him. I think he's very close to Slater. Now, overall thoughts on the Rugby League World Cup tournament. We'll keep this pretty short and sweet, as Lachlan would usually say if he was here. But, what's your overall thoughts on the Rugby League World Cup tournament? Obviously, some blowout scores, but Faraz, we'll start with you.
Overall, it was a bloody bloodbath full of, like, blowout scores. I felt like I was watching the cricket, for fuck's sake. But as soon as it got to the finals, that's when it started happening. That's when you started seeing the much more anticipated close games. It felt like a World Cup there. Australia just edging out New Zealand in a tight blockbuster event. Australia just hanged on. Samoa, England, one of the biggest redemptions, one of the biggest, greatest comebacks in NRL history, rugby league history, whatever you want. But yeah, it's incredible. That golden point game between England and Samoa, probably the best game of the tournament for sure. And yeah, look, I think as soon as it got to the finals, that's when it started getting more better and enjoyable. But I hope next time that there's more competitive games. And look, credit to all these teams like Greece. They had the sport banned for a year or something in their country, and they still came out in the World Cup and played decent. France, they're getting better here and there. Jamaica, yes, they didn't have the best of World Cups, but their fans are passionate and loyal so I want to see these teams grow. Lebanon, they did well at the end as well. So look, there's definitely like talent there, but yeah, look, Australia's still going to dominate for a while. It's hard to see anyone really taking their crop.
I agree. Davos, what about you?
Yeah, it was obviously I'm very proud of all the teams, not just Australia. Like, I'm happy for Samoa, very happy for like the lower tier nations like Jamaica, Lebanon, Greece, Italy. Like, obviously they may not have done as well as like Australia and New Zealand, but they still were in the tournament. You got to give them credit. But yeah, some of the scores were a bit of a blowout, but overall, I'm just more happy for the teams that actually got to compete, like the lower tier nations. So, look, it was a good. Huh?
Don't worry about it. Anyway, sorry, continue on there, Davos.
No, I was just gonna say, finish off by saying, I'm just more grateful for all the teams that competed and made this a World Cup. But obviously, the cherry on top is Australia winning. So,
yeah, that's fair. By the way, feel free to add more than one question in the chat if you are still here, because we're free to answer a few more questions. Also, my don't worry about the chat being spammed at the moment. Please stop, but we'll continue on. Here, I'm just going to say, I'm going to keep it very short. I thought the tournament had a lot of blowout scores. It was enjoyable at times, but it wasn't as enjoyable as it could have been. But congratulations to obviously Australia. Congratulations to Samoa for making it that far. Congratulations to all the nations: Jamaica, Greece, Scotland, Ireland. Those are just to name a few. Obviously, there's some more ones there as well. But congratulations to everyone who participated. It was a great tournament, and I'm looking forward to the next Rugby League World Cup tournament. Hopefully, the big scores get cut down a bit.
And it's sort of just negative talk. Who do you think was off for Australia? Were there any plays that sort of disappointed you? I think for me, I think Pat Carrigan was I think that's probably the shittest game he had all year. The only one he had. I think it's disappointing for me.
Sorry, repeat that one more time.
No, I was just asking you, who do you think who disappointed you from Australia in yesterday's game?
Did you say Pat Carrigan?
He was off. He was off. Yeah. No, compared to his standards and all that, to what he was playing this year, he had a few errors.
In 25 minutes, though.
That is true, but he did make a few errors here and there. But I'm just going off the stats, really.
Yeah, I didn't really see too much of him, but I did see he got close. He pretty much got close to scoring a try at one point, and that was honestly I was going to be so happy for him. But no, I feel like he only had one error. He managed to rack up 79 run meters in 25 minutes.
That's not bad.
I feel like for me the most disappointing in that last game was probably Tino, because he only got it's not his fault though. It's not his fault. He only got 15 minutes. So but it's just
I don't know if you boys noticed, but I'm not sure if it was against New Zealand or something, but we had Isaiah Yeo, Gerber, and Carrigan at the same time on the field. Or was that Murray for Gerber?
I'm not even sure.
But it was just funnier. Just bring it up.
How good. But that'll wrap us up for now on this. We'll get to a Q&A soon. Beforehand, I do want to talk about something that has been mentioned in the chat a few times. The FIFA World Cup is looming. The first game is technically tomorrow morning. I won't be watching it because I don't really care about Qatar, or I'm pretty sure, is it Ecuador? Is that who they're playing against? Yeah. I don't really care about either of those teams. Sorry, not sorry. But we will be covering a bit of it. We won't be doing any live commentary, sadly. I did see a question from Jai Bisho about live commentary. No, sadly, we won't be doing any live commentary. The only game we'd be able to do that on, I think, is an 8 p.m. or 9 p.m. game, in which Faraz will be busy watching it with his mates. I'll probably be busy watching it with some of my mates. Lachlan will be away at that point, and I'm not sure Davos may or may not be able to do it, but even then, I think most of us will be busy on that Saturday. So, But thanks for the thoughts. I would love to do it, but it's just one of those things. We will be covering a lot of the things, though. We might do a predictions video. I mean, it's already technically started, but we could end up doing a predictions video maybe tomorrow, maybe Tuesday. I'll talk to the lads about it. We can think something up. But first off, we'll get into the questions before we end off. And before we do, at the Final Siren podcast on Instagram, that's where a lot of our viewers have come from in tonight's stream. Thank you, everyone who's joined. At one point, I think we had 10 or 11 viewers in the stream. So absolutely great. Loving to see that. We'll head to a Q&A segment for now. And I'll try and go as far up as I can. And we'll start off with, where is it? Ben Woodley. Thoughts as well on Tigers letting Hastings go. Dumb. Really dumb. Clemmer's good. And I want to personally target this at all Tigers fans. Clemmer is good, but you don't have a halfback now. So, it's one of those things. You need a halfback. So I think Clemmer is a good addition. If you could have got him, and maybe here's what I would have done. I've said this a few times, and I'm not sure if you boys will agree with me or not. I would have played Luke Brooks at 6. I would have played Hastings at 7. I would have actually moved on Dewey and tried to get like Clemmer and then maybe some other player.
I would have done that as well. Because
Dewey,
Brooks,
or you could have just gotten Dewey at 6 and Hastings 7. Doesn't like either way.
I'm Brooks to Newcastle. Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I do rate Luke Brooks. He just needs a fresh start. I mean,
no, you don't.
I rate no. I don't think he's like an elite player, but I think he can be a good player. He just needs a fresh start. I think he can be good. I'm not saying he's elite. I'm not saying he's James Tedesco. I'm not saying he's but like he just needs a fresh start. I mean, I would have personally done the same thing as Noah, except I would have done Dewey. It's because Hastings at 7, the Tigers were playing well. They beat Parramatta when Hastings was at 7.
The Tigers playing well.
No, they played well.
They played well with Hastings, though.
Oh, yeah. For sure. But who was their best player in all those 4 games?
Right. Here's my thought process, though. I know a few people are questioning me on the fact that I would let Dewey go over Brooks. Hear me out. I do like Brooks, and I do rate him, like Davos said. And I think he was playing his best footy this year at 6. And Dewey is asking so much money. He's asking so much. He's selling himself as a $900,000 player. And he is nowhere near that standard. He's full of himself. The team needs to change. And I think you need to start with getting out the players who think they're too big for the club.
Can I say something? I'm not saying this would have happened. But we've seen with the halfback changes to each team, like we've seen how dramatic he can be. Like Cowboys, they got Chad Townsend. They made to top 4. They expected to get the spoon. Titans, they made the finals last year. They were expected to be top 6, top 7. Let Fogarty go. Did it? I think they came bottom 4, 12, whatever. Broncos, even though they choked, from 14 to 9th, Reynolds turned them into a finals prospect. Who else? Newcastle, they lost Pierce. Look at them. They were top 8 2 years in a row before, and they came bottom. I'm not saying Tigers would have made the 8, but you've got like Papali in the forward pack. You've got Apikoros out at 9. So you've generally got a good hooker. You've got to establish 7. Who knows what will happen? I'm not saying they make the 8, but you've blown any chance, honestly, because no matter how good a fullback you have, like a good halfback is always key. Like even in Broncos in 2019-2020, when we were struggling, we still had the likes of Haas for feet and all that, but we didn't have a halfback, so that's why like we didn't get those wins and all that. So that's why Hastings going. Even for Brooks, how does that help Luke Brooks? Because Brooks is now back into the same issue. He's back into the spotlight. He's the 7. He's going to be the guy to try and lead this team to all around the park. Like Tigers fans trying to defend this, like I'm sorry, you're out of your minds. Like even if he's not a 7. Even if you think your club's just too good for Hastings, which is not, but Tigers fans, they won't listen. How does that help Brooks in any situation? How does that help Luke Brooks? They needed a change. Brooks should have gone to Newcastle, but it is what it is, and I hope Newcastle do well now. Newcastle do well now.
Leach Dean says, when will you do a BBL season preview? Thanks for asking that, Leach. I don't think we will be doing one until probably December. December's not too far away. It's only a matter of like a couple of weeks away. We want Lachlan to be back for that first off. And also, I just want it'll be more relevant in the month of December, probably a week beforehand. It'll be more relevant and more people will be interested. If we did at some point now, which we had discussed, a few people are still in Rugby League World Cup mode and a few people are in FIFA World Cup mode, so I wouldn't be as interested as a few. But the BBL season preview will be coming. We'll probably talk about signings. We'll talk about where we ladder predictions for the BBL. We'll talk about all that good stuff that you want to hear about. But for now, no, it would be, if I had to label a date on it, I'd say probably around, because the BBL starts 13th of December, so I'd say probably around the 5th or 6th of December is a rough estimate. But we'll look in a date closer to time. Make sure to follow the Instagram to stay updated on that. Are you guys going to do any FIFA World Cup games? Sorry, I just went over that one before. Thoughts on Trelmit? Well, he's just him. He's him. Trelmit is him.
He's built different. He's built different, is what I will say.
After Tedesco, would you say the Troll's second best fullback in the game?
No.
Oh, geez.
No.
So
You go.
I think if he transitioned back to centre, though, he'd be the best centre in the game.
Oh, he was the best centre before he left there.
Yeah.
But that's the scary thing. He's not even playing his best position.
What were you saying, Davos?
I was gonna say I'm not being biased here. I have Tedesco, Pappenhausen, and then Latrell Mitchell. Turbo is just so overrated.
I wouldn't say he's over. I wouldn't say he's overrated, but he's not like the best fullback.
He's so injury prone. It's not funny.
Yeah, I know it's ridiculous, and I'm not. We're not bagging him, but it's like his career's been affected by injuries a lot.
We'll try and get through these a bit quicker. Can you do a quick BBL ladder if you want? I'll go first. So you boys give it a bit of a think about. Off the top of my head, I believe I had Scorchers, Sixers, Heat. Then it was maybe Thunder. Yeah, Thunder. Then I'm going to go with, I think, to round off the top 5. Sorry, I can't remember. Stars. Stars, yeah. And then I'm going to go probably Strikers, Hurricanes, and Renegades in last place. I believe, Faraz, did you have something similar?
I'll let Davis go first. You know, why not?
Me, I have got Sixers. I've got Scorchers. I have got. Let me just get up the teams so I can just remember them.
Yeah, off the top of my head. Yeah.
Yeah. Let me just get it up so then I can just give you a full and clear. Okay. So I've got Sixers. I've got Scorchers. I've got Heat. I've got Thunder. Stars. Strikers. Hurricanes and Renegades.
Pretty much the exact same as just Sixers and Scorchers.
And this is me being unbiased because the Stars, I honestly don't think will do good this year because Maxwell's out with a fractured leg. So that does not help.
No, this is so sad. You put Heat over Stars. I think Lockie and
I'm being honest. I have to be honest, mate. I can't just lie.
What's yours, Faraz? Quickly run through it.
Okay, I am going Scorchers first. I just think they'll be too strong at home. Sixers second. They've got the same squad basically, and they're just consistent even with those name players. Third, I'm so torn up. I think Heat will make finals, but I'm so torn up because I don't know if I can trust Heat to come top 3. But Thunder have lost a lot.
Phillies and Kawaja.
That is, you know what? Let's just back it in for now. It could change, but let's go Brizzy Heat at 3. You better not let me down. Sydney Thunder 4th. I think Melbourne Stars 5th, but Maxwell being out could affect them. Usually 6th, I'm going to go Strikers, 7th Hurricanes, and 8th the Renegades with the sprint again.
Same as mine. So we've all pretty much got the same. Actually, one thing I do want to say though, with Stars, I have them at 5th. With Maxwell being out, he could be out. If he's out for the whole BBL, then
he's out. He said he's targeting a return to the back end of the tournament, but that might be too little, too late for us.
Wait, what's your batting like? Is it the same like last year's squad? Like, do you still have?
It's going to be very similar. It's very similar. The batting. It's basically going to be. In my opinion, it'll be Stoinis, Clark, Larkin. With Maxwell out, it'll probably be Burns at 4, Webster. I'm missing somebody. I'm missing someone.
Madison,
and then it might be like Luke Wood and stuff. So
That's fair. Yeah, I feel like Stars have actually a pretty decent squad. Who are you going for in the FIFA World Cup? Oh, sorry. What did you say?
Oh, no, just to wrap that up, I think Stars, they will be around the 5th mark, but hearing that batting lineup without Maxwell, it can be a bit fragile. There's some good players, don't get me wrong, but yeah, it's not a top 3 batting lineup, is it?
Yeah, for sure. Buddy, 56 Serhi. I hope I pronounced that right. You have one of our fans that shows up pretty much every stream. Thank you. Who are y'all going for in the FIFA World Cup? Australia. Yeah, Australia. Probably England. England would be my second choice, but I'm going to go Australia for the World Cup. Obviously, being an Aussie myself. What about you, boys?
Dave, want to go first?
Yeah, obviously, I love my Socceroos. I really hope they do well, but if I'm being completely honest, I just don't think they'll do well. I think there's a lot more stronger teams out there, and look, I'm rooting for Australia all the way, but I just don't think we'll do that well. I hope I'm wrong, though. I really do hope I'm wrong.
Faraz, who are you going for?
Australia and Vamos Portugal.
He's a Ronaldo lover, that one. Faraz or Davos? Sorry, Faraz or Davos? I'm guessing you're asking all of us. I'm guessing you're asking all of us. Faraz or Davos Noah. predictions for tonight's game between Qatar and Ecuador. Sorry, I actually don't know. I have never watched a game of soccer in my life. The FIFA World Cup will be my first time watching any games of football or soccer, whatever you want to call it. I call it soccer. But I'm gonna go Qatar 2-1. Lock that in. Lock that in. Qatar 2-1. What about you, boys?
That was you first, mate.
I'm gonna go guitar. No, I'm joking. Qatar 1-0.
I was laughing. Haha, very funny.
1-0. What about you, Faraz?
Ecuador are the favourites here, but I think Qatar will spring an upset at home just to get things underway.
I'm gonna actually change mine. I'm gonna go draw. I'm gonna go 1-1.
Just off topic, what do you think about like Qatar coming out and saying they're not going to have alcohol to be sold in the stands for the World Cup?
I can't legally say anything because I'm underage.
Yeah, same. Oi, Faraz, did you see what the freaking president, or I don't know what you call him, the president of the World Cup, FIFA World Cup tournament said in his funny?
No.
I'll show you. It's funny as. This actually relates to the World Cup, so I don't think I'm going off topic here. Have you seen this?
Today I feel Qatar. Today I feel I have. Today I feel gay. What the fuck's this?
Then it says, today I feel disabled. Today I feel a migrant worker. And this is the FIFA president, Gianni Infantino, on the Qatar World Cup.
What?
Well, yeah, you've made me feel like a fool today by reading that. But yeah.
Anyway, Warriors 2023. I'm guessing that's the Warriors, as in the new NRL Warriors, because we are going to be covering NBA as well. I hope so. I would like to see the Warriors win the comp, but I don't think so. I think I know who this is now as well.
Yes,
Who's the Warriors?
Teddy 2023 Dally M. I don't think so, but
wouldn't put it past him though. Him, Latrell, probably would be one of the fullbacks, honestly. Probably if he comes back for full.
New Zealand robbed. Is this T20 World Cup? Sorry, the Rugby League World Cup. Oh, sorry.
You want some salt with that?
No, they weren't robbed. You can't in all good conscience say they were robbed, but if you want to, then sure. NRL early 2023 predictions. We're going to be doing a video on that, so I won't get too far into that, but Tigers to compete for the top 8. That's my hot take. What about, do you boys have a hot take?
I'm trying to.
Dave wants to be crying when Storm get knocked out first week. I'm joking. You go on.
Okay.
All right. Call me delusional.
You are delusional.
Broncos top 6. Mark my words. Broncos top 6.
I can. That's if they don't choke. That's if we don't choke.
No, they will not choke.
They should have been fucking top 4, top 5. Anyways, my early prediction would be could change, but I think Titans competing for top 8. I'm not saying it's gonna happen. Yeah. I'm just
what was better to watch, the T20 World Cup or the Footy World Cup? Really depends on the games. T20 World Cup probably overall.
Better quality, and
I prefer.
There was a lot of upsets. There were actually a lot of upsets.
Yeah, T20 World Cup. There was I was lucky to go to the T20 World Cup final, and it was actually a really, really good game, considering how well England bowled. Pakistan took the fight up to them, and there were some good upsets, like Ireland beat England, Zimbabwe beat
South Africa.
Netherlands beat South Africa.
Who was that who beat Sri Lanka? Namibia.
Everyone beat Sri Lanka.
Namibia. No, in the group stage.
Oh yeah, Namibia did. Yeah, 7 wickets.
West Indies not making yet. Love it, but anyhow.
Faraz is just racist, and we all know that. But for me personally, I like rugby league more, but I think I found the T20 World Cup more better to watch. Honestly, if it was Australian games, I found T20 World Cup more entertaining. Fave player from each NRL team. This would take a little while, Terry.
We can go through quickly, I reckon.
Yeah. Very quickly. Okay, just go off the top of your head if you can. I'm just gonna quickly get the NRL teams up. I do pretty much know them off by heart, but I don't trust myself to I'll probably forget.
Yeah.
Knowing me, Broncos at the moment, Paddy Carrigan. Raiders, Joseph Tarpany. Bulldogs, Matt Burton. Sharks, I'm going to go with probably Ronaldo Molitalo. Dolphins, the Hammer. Gold Coast Titans, I'm going to go Big Tino. Tino Fasua-Mala'awi. Manly Warringah Seagulls, Ruben Garrick. Melbourne Storm, for me, probably Harry Grant or I'll go Harry Grant. Newcastle Knights, that's a tough one. Kalen Ponga, probably. I really like him. North Queensland Cowboys, Val Holmes, easily. Parramatta Eels, probably, I'm going to have to go with Will Penasini at the moment. I really like him. Penrith Panthers, I'm just joking. Dylan Edwards, South Sydney Rabbitohs, Trelmet. Dragons, I'm going to go with Ben Hunt. Sydney Roosters, I'm going to go with probably James Tedesco. Big fan of James Tedesco. Brandon Smith for next year is also a good shout. Warriors, Tamare Martin. And West Tigers, I'm going to go with I'm a big fan of Luke Brooks and probably Jofa Hengawi as well. That's a good shout as well.
Either of you. Okay. David, you want to go first, mate? Or
you sure? I'm happy to go last if you want. Or
no.
Actually, yeah, I'll go. Storm, my team, Cameron Munster, Penrith, Dylan Edwards, Roosters, Sam Walker, Rabbitohs, Jai Arrow.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, not Walker. Sorry,
Lindsay Collins. No, he forgot Lindsay Collins.
No, Lindsay Collins is 100% my favorite Roosters player, without a doubt. I love Lindsay.
You said Sam Walker, though.
Yeah,
I was okay. We'll start. Yes, okay. I'll start again. Melbourne, Munster.
No, that's all good. We get it, Collins.
Okay, Roosters, Collins. South Sydney Rabbitohs, Jai Arrow. Raiders, Josh Papali'i. Eels, Dylan Brown. Newcastle Knights, Kalen Ponga. Sharks, Nico Hines. West Tigers, Luke Brooks. Warriors, Bunty Afoa. The Dragons, Ben Hunt. Titans, Tino. Cowboys, Val Holmes, Ruben Cotter combined. Manly, DCE. Bulldogs, Carl Flanagan. Brisbane Broncos, Kurt Capewell. Dolphins, Tom Gilbert.
For the Tigers, you've gone Luke Brooks. What about Queenslander Joe Offahengawi?
Yeah, he'll say every Queenslander.
No, I like Joffa. I just like Luke Brooks better.
For us,
and my favorite one out of them all is Lindsay Collins. So yeah.
Lindsay Collins.
Did you say Luke Brooks was your favorite from Tigers?
No, I said out of all of them, Lindsay Collins was my favorite.
Okay,
I'm just gonna go off the ladder this year. Panthers, I'm gonna say Dylan Edwards, Cronulla, Ronaldo. Cowboys, I'm gonna go Holmes. Parramatta, Mitchell Moses, I guess. Storm, I'm gonna go Ryan Pappenhausen. Roosters, James Tedesco. Rabbitohs, there's a few. It's tough actually.
Yeah, we get it. We get it. You're a Rabbitohs fan. We get it.
Canberra, I love Jack Wyden. Brisbane, I'm gonna go Corey Oates. Dragons, I'm gonna go Ben Hunt because let's be honest, who else is there? Manly, I'm gonna go Tommy Turbo because who else is there? Bulldogs, Matt Burton. Gold Coast, I'm gonna go Fodawaker. Newcastle, I'm gonna go Caleb. Actually, no, I'm gonna go Daniel Saifidi. Warriors, Tamir Martin. And Tigers, Jackson Hastings. Oh, sorry, my bad.
For Knights, it actually probably is Jackson Hastings for me now.
Yeah, from Tigers, I'm gonna go Fanuma Brown.
Oh, he's at Bulldogs next year.
Oh, he's gone too. Shit,
he's gone too.
Happy
Coruscant, surely. Is that Papali'i?
Oh, Papali'i, yeah.
Yeah.
What about Dolphins?
Dolphins.
Yeah, what about Dolphins? Jermaine Ozako.
No.
Surely Tommy Gilbert.
I don't know anyone.
Branko Lee.
I don't know anyone.
Branko Lee.
Surely Tommy Gilbert. Bro, Tommy Gilbert.
Who's their squad?
No, Tommy Gilbert.
Hammer.
Okay. Fave sport to play. We'll run through these last few ones pretty quickly. Joshua Stokes, fave sport to play. I really love playing cricket, mate. It's not exactly my favorite sport to watch. It's probably my second favorite sport to watch. Actually, basketball. Actually, lock basketball in. It's my favorite sport. No, I love cricket. But for me, it's probably playing wise.
Yeah.
I'm actually no playing wise. I'm going to go cricket and basketball are both tied for me at first.
Yeah.
What about you boys?
My favorite sport to play is AFL. I play footy myself, and second is rugby league. I was a front rower, surprisingly in primary school. So
You were front row.
I was a front rower. Yeah, I was.
I would probably say my favorite sport to play was rugby because out of all the sports, it was less pressure on me. Because cricket, I feel like it's more about individual, especially when you're batting or bowling. The spotlight's on you. With footy, it's about teamwork and all that. I'm not saying cricket isn't, but footy is like you can get help from other people and all that. So I guess footy was my favorite to play.
Fair play. What about Oz vs SA Test Cricket Series? We will be covering. I want to cover Test cricket, and we'll be starting off with West Indies versus Australia, which I'm pretty sure is not too far away now.
Yeah.
We'll cover it a bit. We won't be doing any live commentary or anything like that. Obviously, that would be draining. But we may do a bit of a preview, a bit of a post-match. Maybe each day, maybe do a post-day, like sort of wrap up on what's happening. Thoughts on Warriors' best team in the NRL? They have a great squad next year. They'll be competing for the 8. Mark my words. Especially now that they're coming.
Well, I don't get it. If you guys are saying Warriors are competing for the 8, what's the problem with Titans then?
Because Titans are rubbish.
Yeah, exactly. I go for the Hurricanes and the BBL. Hurricanes are.
So you go for England, good team. You go for the Storm, good team. Then you got Hurricanes.
I'm guessing it's a purple thing because if not, you probably go for Stars. You probably go for Stars or Renegades. If so, yeah, good on you. Hurricanes, I personally don't really like them very much. But
look, you're not the only one without a title. Dave Watts is right there with you to cry on.
So who does Davos like from the Stars fave player? Who's your fave player from the Stars, Davos? This is sorely
I'm going to get Zampa.
My favorite player is, Faraz is correct, Adam Zampa is my favorite player. The best
Good
leg spinner in the world, so...
No, I'm joking.
Last question. Can Australia win one-day World Cup next year in Indian conditions? I haven't heard too much about it, and I'm going to say no.
I'm going to say
purely
no.
Based off... I've seen us play the past few one-day games we've played. We haven't looked too convincing, except for the last 2 we've played against England. That's looked pretty convincing. But if we keep playing the way we've been playing, then yes. But Indian conditions are tough, man. So India, I reckon, could probably get the job done on their own home soil. Yeah. What do you reckon for us?
I love how you just are saying no directly. Like, bro, this is the one-day format. We've won this 5 times in a row. Like, yeah, we're every chance of winning. Yeah, I just think we've got to fix our batting order. But we've played India many times before. We won the last ODI series there in 2019. All that we can win it, but depends on the consistency because there'll be other teams. But we're top 3 in ODIs. I know we didn't make T20 this year, but come on. When have Australia really been good in T20 cricket? ODI is their best format.
Yeah, that's fair.
No, I hope I'm wrong. But it's just...
Yeah, that's fair.
I just think with, by the time the ODI World Cup arrives, David Warner's going to be, probably closer to retirement. Is Steve Smith out of form? Maybe. Or, he's scoring...
What?
No,
have you seen Smith this year?
No, overall, I think he's been, I don't know. He's not that 2017 Steve Smith. I hope that comes back. But
getting centuries and all that. But that's test.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Look, I hope I'm wrong. I just think our bowling attack really needs to improve. I think Stark's done.
It's still a year away, to be fair. Not a year away, but yeah, still
No, but I feel like there's little weakness in that one-day setup.
Yeah. But yeah, that'll probably just about wrap us up. I think we've answered all the questions except the teams I support: Storm, England, Hurricanes. That's a pretty cool team to support. Honestly, Storm win quite a bit. England are a great team in pretty much any sport, and Hurricanes. Well, keep trying. Maybe pick a different one for this year. But that'll wrap us up here on the Final Siren podcast tonight. This stream went probably a bit longer than we were expecting, 54 minutes. But we do appreciate all the questions coming in, and we appreciate everyone talking in the chat. It's been us tonight. Make sure if you aren't already, follow our Instagram, subscribe to the channel if you aren't already. We'll keep the content coming. Lachlan won't be back for a while, so obviously it'll just be us three for probably a week or so until he does get back. And keep the comments coming. Keep supporting us the way you've been doing the past few days. We absolutely enjoy it, and we appreciate you all. And we'll see you in the next stream.